what is the worst match or storyline you've been a part of in your career?
You know what? I'm not going to say Baron Corbin. He wasn't my worst match, even though that's not exactly how I wanted to retire. Okay, it was. All right. I hate the guy. No, what was the other question?
What was the worst match or storyline that you've been involved in, do you think?
Worst storyline. I hated it was when Booker T and Sharmell, when I was stalking Sharmell. Okay? Vince had this thing. I dated a black girl once in my life. So Vince was like, hey, I'll give you another example. Jason Jordan. Okay? Vince has a weird sense of humor. Okay? He heard that I dated a black girl, so he was like, oh, I'm going to get him to stalk Sharmell on TV. And you know what? I'm going to give him a son when he comes back. It's like, this guy made me miserable. I mean, it was just unbelievable. It was the most uncomfortable storyline I ever did was stalking Sharmell. Oh, especially knowing her and Booker T and the I had to say. It was horrible. God, I hope you guys didn't enjoy that. You did? No.
Callum wants to, I don't know where to go from that. Callum wants to know, how did you feel about leading the anti-ECW crew into the One Night Stand show in 2005? You and the rest of the WWE wrestlers.
Is that when I was there in 1996?
No, the 2005 one when they did the ECW
Oh
reunion
God,
show.
okay. This is what happened. Oh, this is crazy. Vince comes to me and says, hey, I'm going to start a new company. And I said, what's the name? He said, ECW. I said, Vince, it's not a new company. He says, wait a minute, it gets better. He goes, all right, but I want you to be the name and face of it. I said, okay, I'm interested, go ahead. He goes, but you're going to make less money and work in smaller arenas. I said, why the would I want to do that? So he says, I'll take care of you on the back end. And he did. But when I went to the ECW, it felt like a demotion to me. It felt like the company was pulling me down. And I was having a lot of difficulty. I was struggling a lot with painkillers. I broke my neck 4 different times in 2 years. I was really struggling. And I was having a hard time staying on the full-time schedule. And you know, it got to the point where I asked for part-time, and they didn't want to give me it. So when I went to ECW, I felt like, you know, it was a demotion, that I was being blasphemed for whatever reason. Maybe it was because of my painkiller problem. Maybe it was because I kept getting injured. I didn't know. But for some reason, I felt like going to ECW was a step down. So that was the last of it. I literally, the next week, about a month later, I was at a house show for ECW, and I was wrestling Rob Van Dam, and I went to Angle Slam him, and he got on my head, and he did a spinning DDT. When I went down, my foot stuck in the mat, and I tore my hamstring. It tore, like, really badly, and the groin tore, and my lower abdominal tore. And it got so bad the next day, my whole leg was black. So I'm like, at this point in time, I said, you know what, I'm quitting. I'm done. I'm done with this company. I'm done. So we had TV the next day. So I go to TV, and Vince McMahon's in a production meeting. He has all the producers, the agents that go over the matches, and the writers are up front with Vince, and they're talking, and I'm so mad. I'm just like, you know, I felt like I was being on, and I'm injured, and it was so bad that not only was my hamstring and my calf black and my foot, my balls were too. Okay? So I walk in, I stare at Vince, the agents are behind me, the writers are in front of me, I pull my pants down to my ankles. No underwear. And he goes, oh my God. He goes, we need to talk in my office. I said, yes, we do. I pulled my pants back up. I went out there. I felt like a real man's man now. So, hey, I was desperate. I had to get his attention, and I did what I had to do. So we go in there, and he said, listen, let's talk at the office. I know this is something that I know you've been bothered, and you know, I haven't had the time to give to you to, you know, tell you exactly my plans for you and everything like that. He was trying to just get his way out of it. So I said, okay, I'll meet you at your office this week, Vince. We need to talk, though. So I go to his office, and I go inside, and I sit down, and he's across from me, and he shows me 3 typed pages of text messages of me texting him. And I'm reading them, and I'm like, holy shit, I said that? Oh, my God. It says, Vince, when I see you, I'm going to beat your ass. And there are a bunch of them. I'm like, I don't remember saying this shit. That's because when I was doing it, I was on painkillers. I was high as a kite. So here I am. I'm reading these text messages, and he gets up out of his chair. He goes, takes his jacket off. He stands next to me. He goes, you want to beat my ass? Let's go right now, mother. I'm in my chair like, oh, my God, I can't believe this is happening to me. So I get really emotional, and I leave, and I go out of the room, and I start crying. I'm crying so hard. And I come back in, and I said, Vince wasn't going to release me. He had no plans of releasing me. And I said to him, if you don't release me, I feel like I'm going to kill myself. And I didn't mean I was going to shoot myself dead. I meant accidentally kill myself somehow. And it's sad that I had to get to that extent to get his attention and get him to release me. It was a really sad time, but I had to move on. I didn't have any other choice. I felt like if I would have stayed, something bad was going to happen. So that's when I went off and left and went to TNA.
Jason wants to know, was there ever any talk about a Brock Lesnar match or feud when you came back in 2017? Would you have liked to have that match at that time?
I would have loved to have that match. I would have loved to have any match of substance. The problem was, when you leave the WWE and you leave on your terms, when you come back, Vince forgives, but he doesn't forget. So you're not exactly going to have the red carpets pulled out for you and, hey, welcome back. Hey, let's treat you like gold. We're going to have you win every single match of your career from here on in. That's not going to happen. So what they did with me especially, I think they felt like I was a liability. So they started with the Hall of Fame first. They wanted to start slow and easy. They started with the Hall of Fame, and then they went with the GM role second, and then I wrestled third. But in reality, it's supposed to be the opposite. You wrestle first, you play the GM role second, then you get inducted to the Hall of Fame third. They did the complete opposite with me, and I have no idea why. And I can only think it's because I was a liability. But, you know, I didn't win a lot of my matches, and I also wasn't the same. When I left TNA, I took a year off, came over here a few times, wrestled Zack Sabre Jr., Del Rio, Cody Rhodes, had a lot of fun coming here in the UK, performing for all of you. Oh, sorry. I'm in Ireland, holy me. I f***ed up, okay? Big time. All right, now you guys threw me off again. What was I talking about?
You were talking about how when you came back and, you know, you'd taken the year off, you wrestled over here. The question was about, would you have wanted to wrestle Brock Lesnar at the time?
Oh, wow, I got way out in left field on that one. Yeah, you know, but the thing is, I wasn't expecting to. I wasn't, you know, my idea was I was going to come back and have one last title run. That wasn't in Vince's plans. As a matter of fact, I didn't come near anybody besides having that match with the Shield. I wasn't with any main eventers up until that point. So the rest of my career was with basically mid-carders and upper mid-carders. And I was okay with that. The only match I had with who was a main eventer was AJ Styles, and that match was 2 minutes long. Yeah, they only gave us 2 minutes. It was ridiculous. But at the same time, I don't want to make any excuses, but when I came back from the independents after a year off, I went to WWE. I was in shape. I was in really good shape. And when they gave me the Hall of Fame induction, they made me GM. I stopped being active. I stopped training. I didn't have time to train in the ring because the GM role is really busy. And I started gaining weight. Then I started training again, and I injured my leg, and I had a torn muscle in my quad, and I just couldn't hold it together. And that's the reason why I retired. I wasn't supposed to retire when I did. I was supposed to go to the next WrestleMania and retire against John Cena. I asked for it the WrestleMania prior. I asked instead of having Baron Corbin, I wanted John Cena. But I didn't want to wait a whole nother year because I knew that if I did, I was probably going to lose just about every match up until then.
What was the best advice The Undertaker ever gave you?
He said, "Kid, I don't rib, and I don't like to be ribbed." But that ribs people. He's full of shit. He just doesn't like to be ribbed, and if you rib him, you're in for it. He's going to beat the out of you.
You hear about Undertaker that, he's maybe like, you have to earn your respect from him. Was that an easy process for you to earn the respect of Undertaker?
With me, Undertaker respected me right away, and I think it's because of my credentials, winning the Olympic gold medal with a broken freaking neck. But I think that's the reason why he respected me, and I had a good attitude coming in. I was very pleasant. I was very modest, and I took everything with a grain of salt, and I was very agreeable with everybody. So I made it easy for people to like me.
Would you have liked to have worked with Ken Shamrock, and if so, how do you think the program would have worked out?
He's another guy, besides Bret Hart, who is my #1 guy that I've always wanted to work with. Bret's incredible, but Kenny Shamrock's up there too. I mean, that guy was incredible. I loved his style. I loved his MMA style, and that's where I got the ankle lock. I asked him for permission to use it, and he said, "You can use it." And he said, "Hopefully someday you and I will cross paths and be able to go ankle lock versus ankle lock." But it never happened, and I think it's because when WWE was going to bring him back, he wanted to do a part-time schedule. They wanted him full-time. And, very seldom in WWE do you get part-time schedules. You have to basically be on the roster forever to get it.
When you look back in your career, specifically the comedy stuff, is there any comedy angle you regret doing?
No, I love doing all the comedy. It was great. I was having so much fun. Every week I was so excited to show up for work. The writers were having incredible material for me. I mean, doing the cowboy hat segments, and I'm just a sexy Kurt. The battle raps with John Cena, the milk truck incident when I came out and doused Stone Cold Steve Austin and the alliance with Milk. I had a lot. What was it? Milkamania. That's right. You're damn right. Doing some of the funny skits with Brock Lesnar. I had a lot of fun. At one point, Vince told me at the beginning of my career, he said, "Listen, we could do a lot more funny stuff with you because you're an Olympic gold medalist, so you're actually a real badass in real life. So the fans are going to take you seriously when you get in the ring." So a few years later, I'm really into this comedy stuff, and I'm loving it. And I'm like, "Vince, let's keep doing it." He goes, "No, you ain't doing that anymore. The fans aren't taking you serious. I need you to be a more serious wrestler. I want you to be the wrestling machine." I said, "What the happened with the comedy Vince? You told me that they would take me seriously if I came out there." He said, "Well, I changed my mind, damn it." That was it. End of that.
What was your favorite theme song, TNA or WWE?
Oh, that's tough. The WWE one, because it wasn't mine from the beginning, it was the Patriots. That kind of, it has a negative light to it. So I did like my music in TNA. A guy named Trademark did it. It was John Cena's cousin, guy that did Word Life with John Cena. He's the one that did the music for me. He did an incredible job, but I really like my TNA music better. I did.
Do you think that comedy in wrestling today can work? You know, it did so well for you, but today the comedy isn't as good. Can comedy wrestling work today?
I believe so. I think comedy belongs in wrestling. I think you want to laugh. You want to laugh, you want to cry, you want to be excited, you want to be pissed off. You want to show all kinds of emotion. That's what wrestling's all about. That's why we do it. It's to give all of you different emotions. And I think that it belongs in there. Comedy definitely belongs in wrestling. Why not?
This one is...
Well, Corny's an old school mother. He's going to tell you that the only thing that's going to get over is Bruno Sammartino versus Luthez.
I don't know if you want to answer this one, but in your honest opinion, who is the most overrated pro wrestler of all time?
No, wait a minute. Hey, John Cena is not the most overrated wrestler. No, The Rock's pretty damn good himself. I ain't going to say it, but I think somebody just said it.
He's not here. Do you think, personally, with everything that happened, you know, in wrestling for you, you know, being away from your family, damage to your body, the highs, the lows, addiction, everything, was it worth it?
Yeah, it was worth it. You know why? Because I entertained every single one of you every week. That's what I was addicted to. I was addicted to all of you. I wanted to perform for all of you. I wanted to give my very best for all of you because you guys mean the world to me. They really do. Well, thank all of you for your support, too.
John wants to know, what was your favorite part of doing the tag match with the Shield?
Oh, you know what? The best part was when these both did, they both jumped through a table, and I pretended to, and I landed on the floor. These set me up. I mean, they made me look like an idiot. They both jumped off the ring on the tables, did leg drops, and I dropped down and I landed on the floor. It was so funny. But those they set me up. They didn't want me to look like Roman Reigns. They wanted me to look like an
What are a couple of your favorite matches of your career? You mentioned the Rey Mysterio one earlier, but what are the others?
I would say my favorite matches was Chris Benoit, Royal Rumble 2003. Undertaker, No Way Out 2006. Shawn Michaels, WrestleMania 21. And Shane McMahon, Street Fight, oh yeah, 2001. Can never forget that one. I would say those are the best ones, definitely. Eddie Guerrero, WrestleMania 20. I love that finish. Awesome. Yeah.
Now, you recently...
TNA, anything with AJ Styles or Samoa Joe in it. Great.
I don't know if you know that you went viral recently. You went viral not too long ago because you ended up saying that The Undertaker almost gave you an orgasm on your podcast. Would you care to explain for everyone why that happened?
Well, okay. Undertaker was doing the American Badass gimmick. He was doing it for 5 years. And he wasn't The Undertaker anymore. And the first night that he turned into The Undertaker again was the night I beat Mark Henry for the World Heavyweight Championship at the Royal Rumble. And Undertaker came out and did his entrance music. And when he came out his entrance, it was crazy, man. I mean, it was the first time I saw The Undertaker in 5 years. And I did want to have an orgasm. I'm not going to lie to you. The music, the theatrics, the lightning that came down in the ring, hit the ring, struck the ring dropped, and it was eerie as I was actually excited and scared to death at the same time. It was some of the best I've ever seen in my life, and I did want to have an orgasm, seriously.